Hi, I'm Corinne Edwards, Mrs. North Carolina 2012. I'm here today with Jack Nyrenstein, and I've heard recently about a new method that evidently has been out there for quite some time, but Jack is the discoverer of it, and I'm always looking for fun and creative ways to stay fit, and I understand that Jack has an amazing method of running that he's going to share with me today.
Hello, my name is Jack Nyrenstein, and I discovered the only science that anybody could run with, and so naturally everybody runs that way, and I'm going to teach my technique to Corinne. Now, she has a reason to listen to me because I was endorsed by the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports, and I taught a four-time U.S. national champion runner how to run my way, and even though it sounds ridiculous that I'm the only expert in the world on running, I'm going to prove it in this video.
That's really amazing, Jack. I can't believe that you're the only expert, as you claim to be, with all of the universities out there and doctors and sports medicine and researchers and coaches all over the world. I can't believe that you're the man. So I'm interested to hear your method.
All the experts on running that you just mentioned are the top authorities in all those fields are on the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports. And they didn't know my technique, and yet they felt it was that good that they had to endorse me. They said that it was insightful for beginner and experienced runners. I'm 84 years old right now, and I'm still in good shape for running. Now, what you just saw is that gravity is making me run. In order to start out running, I have to drop my feet behind my center of weight, and then when I go backwards, I have to drop my feet in front of my center of weight. So I'm off balance going in both directions. And you can see that it's only gravity that can make you go forward. Now, I want you to try that and see if it actually happens that way. Okay. Now, the way I discovered this, I discovered my technique some 40 years ago, and here's the way I went about doing it. I was reading a lot of articles in magazines and reading books on running, but I wasn't really getting any faster with what I read, so I was trying opposite things. I was trying to stride long, stride short, jump high, stay low, swing my arms faster, slower, and then what I tried was something that amazed me at the time. I tried pushing myself forward as hard as I could, and then I tried not pushing myself forward at all. And that surprised me, that not pushing forward at all, I was able to run faster and easier. And I realized that pushing yourself forward isn't the way to run. It's impossible to do. You just run with gravity pushing you forward. And the more off balance you are, the faster you're going to be running. So I was working with it for quite a number of years, and that wasn't enough to give me everything I needed to do right to run. And over the years, I developed practically everything you would possibly need to know to run properly. Okay, now, through the years, I started running when I was over 50 years old, and I ran the marathon 7 times, and after I made my discovery, I went from a 4.5-hour marathon to 3 hours and 20 minutes. So I improved my speed dramatically. And I'm going to show you everything you need to know in order to make you a better runner. And there's an awful lot to it. You have to be off balance in order to run. If you run in place, centered, you can't try to push yourself forward to run, and you'll see that as long as you're centered, you cannot move forward. And only gravity could make you go forward. Now, there are 3 landing angles that you do in every walk, run, and sprint. They are all the same technique. You just go faster by being more off balance for a longer period of time. So what you have to do is work with your center of balance, because when you bend forward like this here and your center of weight is directly over your feet, you're going to stand in place. You could do that also, and yeah. And see that you're standing in place, whether you lean forward or backward, and you're still centered because your waist is directly over your feet. Okay, now the 3 stages of running is a speed-up stage, a steady stage, and a slow-down stage. And you do that in every phase of walking, running, sprinting. To speed up, you lift your front support, and you're off balance, and gravity starts to move you forward. Now let's take a walk. You first get off balance, and your strides are off balance, but you cannot see a steady stride as off balance. So what you're doing, for 1 step, you go into a walk. If you get off balance for 3 steps, you go into a run. We ought to do this sideways over here. Okay, so 3 steps are going to be behind, and all of a sudden you're at a running pace, and you drop your feet out front to steady yourself at that pace. And to go faster, I'll do this by myself. To go faster, you drop your feet for more steps to the rear, and you can go as fast as the many steps that you drop behind. You can go all the way up to a sprint. See, I'll do it for 4 steps or 5 steps behind. I go a lot faster than that.
Wow, that's amazing.
Okay, now I'm going to show you the 3rd stage of running, is where you drop your feet far out front for gravity to slow you down. And here's the way it looks. You're running at a steady pace. And then I'm going to show that we do that, and we actually run backwards that way.
It's amazing. It is gravity. That's amazing.
Right?
Wow.
Okay, now there's one key secret that nobody knows to be able to be off balance, to be able to run fast. And that is that for every action, there's an equal and opposite action. if you hold my hand here like this here, if I let my shoulder go back, I can't push very hard over here. But if the shoulder is in a fixed position, I can do it much harder. See?
Makes sense.
So now the hip has got to be stabilized for platforms that won't move when you bring the foot forward again for the next stride. So you have to be able to have a steady hip in order to be able to bring the foot forward in time. And the way to do that is with a body twist, where you put this as a steady platform that can't be moved. What happens is that when your shoulder and arm go forward, now the arm goes forward independently of the hip of the shoulder, and so when you're running, you're actually twisting, but the arm is swinging. In addition, it gives you an additional push when the arm swings. So what happens is that the hip has got to be pushed from both sides with a body twist and an arm swing, so that it would be moving forward, but it won't move forward when you bring the foot forward because you're pushing the other side of the hip back. So you got to feel that when you're running, that you're actually doing that twist properly, so you can go very fast. See, if you go, you don't have to do that.
That's amazing.
Of course, you do that at every speed anyway. So,
Right.
but you don't do it as hard in the slower speeds.
And so speed that.
Now, did you feel the hip stabilize?
I did, and I didn't even know I could run that fast.
Wasn't that great?
That's amazing. Yes.
And that is the biggest part of what you have to do in order to be able to be efficient. The whole body works to get you forward. Why do you think a running method that is impossible to take one stride with can be taught by thousands of coaches to millions of runners around the world? The answer can only be that there are no experts in a running method with the knowledge that can contradict them. There is one now, me, Jack Nierenstein. You can never stay at one fixed angle. You can only fall down to the ground. There is a false reason. It is when they hear a gravity method, they release their pushing muscles and it becomes easier to run. But the coaches and students try their normal way of running, which is with strides.